Hi, this is a video for Shelton Waldrep's basic English class. Today we're going to talk about research and the various options in research at the library. The first thing I want to show you is OneSearch. This is a database that encompasses both journal articles and books, as well as videos and many other things. If we take a look at it here under Advanced Search, we could put in a topic. Now, Shelton's class is interested in popular culture, and that can mean anything from a particular artist to a TV show to a movement like Black Lives Matter or something like that. There's many things that encompass popular culture. So definitely ask Shelton what he means by popular culture and okay your topic with him. I'm just going to put in an artist. Keith Haring, artist that I like. And what that will do will give us some information about that artist, which is here. And you can see that they come from many different places. For instance, a lot of this is Orono. UMM is University of Maine Machias. There's one at Gorham, which is here at USM. And there's a lot of different things, like here's an Oxford Dictionary entry. Let's see, this is a juvenile thing at the Bangor Public Library. But OneSearch is a really good tool because of the way that I like to think about it is use it at the beginning of your search because it's great for generating ideas. And then use it at the end of your search just in case you need more stuff but haven't found everything you need. OneSearch is designed to search all of our databases and all of our catalog. So that is a lot of information, and usually, as you can see up in the top, it's very high numbers of things. So it's not a real great database to search specifically. You can narrow it down by the last 12 months or the last 5 years, etc., or even peer review stuff that's been reviewed by experts in the field. But the way I like to use it is as a first round for generating ideas, and then a last round for getting stuff that you hadn't thought of before. All right, so let's go to a new database. Okay, here we are back at the library homepage, and I wanted to show you the Ursus catalog, which is the next way that we can find materials. Under the Ursus catalog, we should look at the advanced search. And let's choose something different now. How about that TV show that a lot of people like, Game of Thrones? Now, if you have a topic like this, this is a popular TV show, but it has 3 names. And if you have 3 names, what you want to do in Ursus is you want to keep it together. And the way you do that is with quotation marks. So if I put in Game of Thrones and I put it in quotes and I do my search, it comes up with 78 hits of things that I assume are about Game of Thrones. So I'll look at the very first one here and take a look. Where does it come up? Yes, in the contents area, there is a mention of Game of Thrones. And that's basically how you would find how the keyword comes up, is by that kind of information. If you look at the record, you have all the information that you would need for your citation right here. You have the location. This is in Bangor Public Library, and the call number where it sits on the shelf. And as I mentioned before, the contents is what is going to be in the item, and that's very useful. Over here on the right, you have the citing information for that item, which should be MLA, I believe. English classes usually are MLA, but obviously do whatever your instructor wants. We're actually in MLA 8th now, so that might be an issue for you. If that's the case, we have MLA 8th manual, so you can find that information at the library. This is another place where we can help you. Down here you have the subject areas. The subject area is important because it can give you more information about your topic. Now, if my topic is Game of Thrones, I see product management, marketing, social aspect, popularity. These are not Game of Thrones specific. So these subject areas might not be so useful. But if I find an item that's more on target, I might want to look at these items. If I just click on popularity, social aspects, for instance, if you find that that search and you follow it over here, you see, oh, okay, that one had one item, but some of them had as much as 56 items, or 11 items, or 779 items. And those are the ones where you can really find a lot more information and strike gold, if you will, for that topic. Okay, I'm going to move to the next database under URSUS catalog. If you go to the top here, you can find MainCat. MainCat is the database for the state of Maine, and it includes not only the University of Maine system, but also public libraries and the private libraries of Maine, Bates, Bowdoin, Colby, UNE, Husson. And let's take a look at that. So for this search, let's do the movement Black Lives Matter. Again, because it has 3 words in it, I'm going to keep it in quotes so that it keeps the words in the correct order and doesn't find the words in various parts of the same paragraph. We want it all together in one statement here. All right, so we got a number of things, 54 things, and if we look through what we're looking for, okay, this is interesting. Race in America, how pseudoscientific concepts shape human interaction. So let's just take a look at that. And you can see it's a lot like URSUS. It has the same information in the front here. Shows you libraries that have it. In this case, Bowdoin has it. And it's placed on the shelf. Whether you can take it out, you can. And then you would request it here. There are subject areas down here that would identify possible more hits. For instance, group identity in the United States. That's kind of interesting. If I click on that, that shows me 105 items, perhaps new items that I could use in my search. So keep that in mind as you look through items, that you can mine the subject area for more information. Okay, great. So if I wanted to request this item, what I would want to do is click here under request, and I would put in my school, and my school is the University of Southern Maine. And then I would click and find a place to put my name and my barcode. Barcodes at USM are usually the small number on the bottom that begins 2502. If you're a new student, that number, I believe, begins 2186. But that's on your USM ID card, and you need to have that activated, which you can do at the various circulation desks, either at Gorham or Portland or Lewiston Auburn. Then you would choose a pickup location. You could choose any pickup location, but let's say you were here at Portland and you just wanted to pick it up at Portland. It would be ready hopefully in about 3 to 5 days, where you would get an email saying that it has arrived, and then you would submit the item and it would be yours for a period of time. Okay, so if we were to bring the search now to the journal articles, what we would do is go to databases and guides, and we could choose several databases that I think would be useful to you. The first one that we're going to try is Academic Search Complete. That's under A. And we'll try our first original search there, Keith Haring again. Academic Search Complete is a very good database because it covers so many different areas. It covers art, covers history, covers math, any area that you can think of. And because of that, it's a great general database to include in our list of databases. So here we have 250 items that we can look at. We can see all kinds of databases, or I'm sorry, all kinds of articles that have information about various things, and we can sort them by the types of format they come in: magazines, book reviews, newspapers, academic journals. Now, usually academic journals are the ones that we want to concentrate on. What I like to do is click on scholarly peer-reviewed articles, and that brings you down generally to the academic journals. Now, in this case, 1998 to 2017 is the range we have. Mr. Haring died, I believe, in the 90s, and it's showing us from the earliest point at which information was available for him on this topic. If I go to one of the basic areas and we look at a record for this item, we can see that there's a lot of information. Here's the source information where you would actually look up the journal. Here's the subject terms that might be of use. I don't see any that are particular to Keith Haring, but in the keywords here, I do see something that I might want to choose because that could lead me to more articles, an author-supplied keyword. What you would want to do is read the abstract to see if this article is of interest. And once you do that, you can decide whether or not you want it and go to Article Linker to see whether it's available. So we click on Article Linker. And this is showing that it is available. This is the full text of the article. And there's some nice pictures of his stuff there. And so this is a successful access to the article. If there was not a successful access, what we would do is come over here to step 2. We would search by ISSN number. I don't like to search by journal title because journals oftentimes in very similar areas sometimes have the same title, and they'll never have the same ISSN number. And then if that doesn't work, then we go to step 3 and submit an interlibrary loan request. Our interlibrary loan is called Rapid ILL, and it is blazing fast at about 9 hours. So you can get an item here at about 9 hours, and that's really great. Okay, so here we are back at the record for the article, and we can move to the right hand side and see a number of different options. We can add to folder, we can print out the article or record, we can send email or save to a file, or export to RefWorks, our citation database, and you would click here and that would bring you into RefWorks. If anyone has any questions about RefWorks, just contact me or the library, and we'd be happy to help you find that. Another thing you could potentially do is get the information for citing. So that's something that you might want to look at. Scroll down here to MLA, and you can copy and paste the information into your paper. Now keep in mind that these citations are okay, but they may contain errors, and so you always want to check with the manual, the MLA manual, or some well-known site like OWL. That's OWL Writing Lab at Purdue, and they will make sure that when you look through this, you'll catch any errors that might be there and make those changes before you actually hand in your paper. So that would be the next step. All right, so let's go back to the databases. And the next database that I would send you to is Ingenta Connect. Here we are already on the eyes. Ingenta Connect is down here. And we can use that next search that we tried before, Game of Thrones, and popular culture. And we can search Game of Thrones and find potentially some good articles here. I like especially the ones that take kind of a anthropological or sociological or philosophical look at things like basic television shows. There's one on rape culture here in the feminist fandom, and statements and silence. That's from the Culture of Media and Culture Studies, Journal of Media and Culture Studies. So let's click on that one. And here is our item. It looks like we don't have access to this, or at least we don't have access through this particular database. And you may see this, buy article for $47. Don't do that. That's not necessary. We, as I mentioned before, our interlibrary loan system is very fast, and that's the reason that we have it, is to avoid this type of thing. The information you want to get is this information. You want to know the author, you want to know the source information, the journal, the number, issue if necessary. Looks like there's a date and pages. All that information you can use to put into a search for that item. Here's the citation information here I can click on. We can see if that brings up a citation that we can use. So that seems fairly slow, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to search this item. The way that you could search it, you could go to Continuum, Journal of Media and Cultural Studies, and we can just copy that information. What I would do is open up a new window. And search that as a journal. So once I put in the name of the journal here, I can look to see if there's a way to access that journal. And there is through Communication Abstracts. And if I recall, that article was in 2016, and if I go back to let's see, 2016 January #1, volume 30, #1, page 75. So let's jump back. #1, January, page 75. So that's interesting. This is February is #1 here. And here is the item, and it turns out we do have access to it. Look at that. That was just incorrect. February is actually the correct month and for that title. As you can see, nothing is perfect, and we actually have full text to this. So if I click here, that $45 that you could have spent would be for nothing because we have access right here to the entire thing. So great. That's one less item that we would have to get. If I go back to the detailed record, I can find the citation information that didn't come up under Ingenta Connect. Find my MLA. Great. Export to RefWorks if I want, or add it to folder. Whatever I want to do, this is all available. So that was a very successful use of Ingenta Connect. So let's try another database. Okay, if we go to the top here, back to our A to Z list, and this time I think I want to go to C for CQ Researcher. This is another database that I think would be really good for popular culture. This particular database is all about finding the hot topics of the day. CQ Researcher is excellent for political stuff, for things that are in the news, and I'm going to try Black Lives Matter. Again, keeping it together with quotations. And there's several different articles that I could choose. One's 2016 on racial conflict. One is populism and party politics in 2016. And then here's what in 2017 about trusting the media. So let's take a look at that. CQ Researcher has some very nice features. One, it gives you about a 30-page document. As you can see, this is quite a long document, and it shows the issue tracked through time. If you go backwards, it's kind of interesting. On this side, it shows things like overview, background, information, outlook and the pro and con positions, which is very good. Again, the chronology, maps and graphs, there's all kinds of interesting information here. Just as before, you can view in PDF form and you can cite. So here's the place where I would go to find my citation information. There's my MLA. Great. Looks like I have the ability to export my site information to RefWorks if I want, right there. So this is yet another database that you can use to look at popular culture, and I recommend that you do. These are very nice layouts of information, and they encompass many different articles. And also, if you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see that there's also quite extensive citations for you to look up more information there. Yeah. So that's another option for people looking for information about popular culture. So finally, I just wanted to let you know, if we go to homepage again, the library is also a place, and you can use the library in many respects. If you want to request help from us, you can do that here. If you want to find a group study room, you can do that here. You want to schedule a tutor, you can do that here. We have resources like RefWorks. There's student resources here, faculty resources. I'll click on the student resources in a second. Here's some tutorials you can look at. Here are the student resources that show things like our hours and adding Husky Bucks to your card. There's the tutoring. Some basic information about your USM card and how to use it, finding books. There's all kinds of nice things here that you could use. The chat feature, which would bring you to our Ask a Librarian page, where you can chat with the librarian or email or look at FAQs of already answered questions. There's all our phone numbers and how to text us. And like I say, feel free to walk in. We are here for you, and I am here for you as your English liaison. So please don't be a stranger. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this perhaps very long tutorial did some good. Thank you very much. Bye.